morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio, and I've been going back lately, and I've been having a look at Shining Fates, because we know that Crown Zenith is coming, and we know that Crown Zenith is going to be a very similar set to Shining Fates. That is a set which is largely mopping up unreleased cards from Japan, but then bringing in a really cool extra set. And that means that I've gone back and looked at Shining Fate, like I said. And it turns out that the price of Shining Fate singles have crashed kind of hilariously. And if you want to be picking up any singles from Shining Fates, except for maybe one, now, ladies and gentlemen, now is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time to do so. Let me explain. So one thing that is very much worth noting, as I've said, is that Shining Fates is basically split into two. You've got the main set, and then you've got the Shiny Vault. And in terms of the main set, there is almost nothing of value. Some sealed products maybe here or there, although to be fair, like the Elite Trainer box you can still pick up for less than retail occasionally. And if we go and look at cards that are worth more than $2, Skylar! Yeah! Skylar's like an $8 card, a $7 or $8 card. Full art Skylar, in the main set, $7 to $8. That's honestly about it. That is literally like the best we can do in terms of value here. It's like $7 or $8. And after that, we see a big drop off. We could see something like Poker Kid, which has got a market price of $2.60 over on TCG Player. But let's not kid ourselves, you can pick that up for $2. Or Ball Guy, which has got a market price of $2.40, but you can pick it up for $2. Or Rainbow Rare Alchemy, which has got a market price of $2.40, but you can pick it up for $1.50. And that's kind of it. Like that is it in terms of like the big cards in the set. In terms of the main set, the only card you cannot pick up for $2 is your full art Skylar. Everything else is $2 or less. And I personally find this absolutely hilarious. And if we look at the graph for Skylar, we can see that over the past year, it's gone from like a $12 card down to a $7 card. Even not starting from a particularly powerful point here, it has dropped off kind of hilariously. So look, if there's any cards you're looking for out of Shining Fates, any cards from the main set, go and get them now. I can't tell you what's going to happen in the future, but I can tell you right now, if you want any regular cards from Shining Fate, any that aren't in the Shiny Vault, yet the price has dropped hilariously, and they're all just redonkulously cheap, and I adore this. But we all know that the Shiny Vault was really what was going on. Are there any cards from the Shiny Vault that are holding their value quite nicely? And the answer is actually yes. Charizard. Kind of. Because you see, on the one hand, Charizard right now is about a $100 card. You will pay about $100 for this Charizard. And look, you can pay more for an absolute perfect minty version. You can pick it up a little bit less. But this Charizard is somewhere in the region of about a $100 card, which is a decent amount of money. Although I do need to remind you all that this was like a $400 card when it came out. This was like a $400 card. Now it's sitting there at $100. And to be fair, right, if we have a little bit of a look here, you can see, you know, on the graph over on TCG Player, you can see that this Charizard is, well, it's dropped quite significantly in the past year, I think is probably the way to put it. In the past year, it's gone from like $130 down to $100, and we could keep going. This is a card that has absolutely just dropped in value since release. So sure, it's still a $100 card. It is still absolutely worth pulling from a pack. It's still going to be the one you're going for. My point is, let's not pretend this is some kind of like hyper expensive grail card. It's not. It's just the only one from the set. Because after that, it drops fast. Like, the only other cards that are above a tenner, Suicune is about a $12 card, and Drizzile is about an $11 card. Suicune, if anybody's wondering, it's because Suicune is just a super popular Pokemon. Everybody loves Suicune. And Drizzile is obviously because of the ability. Shady Dealings is great. And this is just a nice fancy version of your Shady Dealings Drizzile. After Charizard, the number 3 card at $9 is Inteleon. And again, it's because it's a really playable Shady Dealings card. And that's it. Like, everything else is below $8. And it drops super quickly. Like, the number 10 card in the Shiny Vault, as it stands at the moment, is Galarian Rapidash. Just because people think that Pokemon is cool. It's a $5 card. And that is the number 10. It is absolutely ridiculous how quick this set drops off. You've basically got Charizard, and then maybe Suicune and Drizzile and Inteleon, and everything else is like $7.50 or less. This just does not hold value. I mean, we all expected, because over in Japan, those Gold Eternatus cards, right? They were big. They were very expensive over in Japan. So we thought that those cards might hold a bunch of value over here, yeah? $5 cards. They are literally $5 cards. You can pick them up very casually, and to be honest with you, probably wouldn't even pay $5. But go to TCG Player, go to eBay, you can pick these up for $5. And it gets kind of silly. Like, there are really good cards that just hold, like, no value. And honestly, most of these are, like, $2 cards. And that's kind of amazing. Centiskorch VMAX, that is one of those Pokemon that was actually for a while very playable, but it's your VMAX, your shiny VMAXs are supposed to have the most value in the set. They're supposed to be the hardest to pull. Centiskorch VMAX is a $2 card. Oh, well, that must be the lowest of the VMAXs. And actually, yes, it is. It absolutely is. But, Rillaboom, that's like a $2 card. That's not really any more expensive than Centiskorch. And there are a bunch of others. Toxtricity is about a $2.50 card. Lapras is a $3 card. Even if you go up, even the VMAXs outside of Charizard are just not terribly expensive at all. I mean, the second most expensive VMAX is Grimmsnarl at $7.50. And then you got Ditto as a $5 card. Grimmsnarl, I'm imagining it's because the shiny version looks so different. That's the only thing I can imagine. It's not a good card. I don't think it's that popular a Pokemon. Obviously, Ditto is really cool, and Ditto was a new card in the set, so that was kind of cool. But when the second and third VMAXs that are supposed to have the lowest pull rates are at $7.50 and $5, that should basically tell you everything you need to know. Galarian Zigzagoon is a card that sees a huge amount of play, and the shiny version here is below $4, even though it's a card that sees a huge amount of play. And I love this. I just want to point that out there. I love it. Chinchino is another card that sees a huge amount of play. The shiny version is like a $3.50 card. And I think that is absolutely brilliant. My favorite card in the set, I have made absolutely no bones about the fact, it's Ducklet. I love this Ducklet. I have the Ducklet in multiple languages, and it makes me very, very happy indeed. This Ducklet fills my heart with joy, ladies and gentlemen. It fills my heart with joy. So what is the current listed market price over on TCG Player? $2.46 for that Ducklet. And I'll be honest with you, I might even be able to take some of the credit for that, just because how much I've hyped up this particular Ducklet. And I love it. You can pick up the Swanna for $1. Shining Fates is not a set that has held much value at all. The main set, everything is $2 or below other than Skylar. And the Shiny Vault, you've got Charizard, you've got one other $12 card, and then you got an $11 card and a $9 card, and then it starts dropping off really fast, and most of these, again, can be picked up for $2 or less. And I love this. Because the whole point of Shining Fates was it was supposed to be a set full of fun, shiny cards that was really cool to collect. And it is. And you can pick these up super cheap. And then we go back to Crown Zenith, and I think the same thing is going to happen here. Now, maybe not to the same level, but remember the Charizard has already been given to us in the Charizard Ultra Premium Collection. That's not actually going to be in the set. And sure, there's probably going to be a few cards that hold a decent amount of value, but Shining Fates was initially near impossible to get hold of, and then Pokemon did a wonderful thing. They printed it into the ground. Like I've said, you can still pick up Elite Trainer boxes below retail. At least I found some this morning. So I imagine the same thing's going to happen with Crown Zenith. And that means that the single prices are going to get driven into the ground as well. And I could not be happier about this. I could be wrong, of course. This is nothing but a prediction. But I've just shown you how it's happened with Shining Fates. And again, I need to stress this. When Shining Fates came out, the singles prices were ridiculous. It was selling out everywhere. You could not pick up product. And now, like, everything but Charizard is dirt cheap. It could happen again, ladies and gentlemen. It could very much happen again. All right. That's what I wanted to tell you. Now I have, so now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me how excited you are for Crown Zenith. Tell me what your favourite cards are from Shining Fates. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at Lawasi. That's where we talk Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel. You can get some bonus podcasts where I answer all of your questions. You can join a Discord and chat with us. And you can get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely James Sierpinski, who has been a supporter of ours, not for very long, but they do seem to be a very lovely person. So thank you very much for the support and for being a very lovely person. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.